93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Will they pay a price for going virtual? With your Alexa Flash Briefing, I'm Herrick. There's been concern over whether or not schools in Indiana will get the money they need for having to go virtual because of the coronavirus. Eric Berman reports on what the governor plans to do.
Governor Holcomb says he'll ask the State Board of Education to push back the official school enrollment count, which determines school funding, to December. That keeps schools fully funded until then.
What we wanted to do is lock in right now and say during this point, you do not need to be concerned about this. And how we then address virtual education, we'll have time to do that.
State law gives virtual schools 15% less per student. Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray warned last week that applies to any school which spends half the year online. Eric Berman, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you're behind on your power bill, you have some time to get square with your utility company. On Wednesday, the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission voted not to continue the state's moratorium on disconnections, which means power companies can turn off the electricity once again when the moratorium ends tomorrow. But the state is requiring a 2-week notification period, so regulators are extending payment plan options for you into October. 3 people shot in Indianapolis overnight. IMPD says 1 person is critically injured after being shot on Michigan Street on the northeast side near Rural in New York. Another person shot on Cole Street near Vermont and North Lyndhurst on the west side, but that person's awake and breathing. The 3rd person was shot on Eagle Creek Parkway near 38th Street on the northwest side, but that person survived as well. Police are looking for suspects in all of these shootings. 2 IMPD officers seen hitting a woman with a baton and pepper balls and shoving another to the ground May 31st, the day after riots in downtown Indy, have been charged by a grand jury with battery and official misconduct.
In this particular case, the legal standard is reasonableness. And what better way to get a determination as to whether or not someone's conduct was reasonable under the circumstances than to take it to the community, which is exactly what we did here.
Prosecutor Ryan Mears announced charges against Officer Jonathan Horlock and Nathaniel Shawwecker Wednesday afternoon. The officers were arresting the women for violating the curfew. Protect yourself against mosquitoes because public health managers say there have been some mosquitoes that have tested positive for West Nile virus in Allen, Marion, and St. Joseph counties. No reports of any people getting West Nile virus, though. What the selection of Kamala Harris as Joe Biden's vice presidential running mate means. Vice President Mike Pence discussed that Wednesday. Kurt Darling reports.
Pence says Biden's decision makes the Democratic ticket lean too far to the left.
Joe Biden's decision to add Kamala Harris to the ticket confirms everything President Trump and I have been saying.
Pence on Fox News.
And that is that Joe Biden and the Democratic Party have been overtaken by the radical left.
He says he can't wait to be on the debate stage with Harris in Salt Lake City October 7th. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And a former Indianapolis Colts coach has died. Rob Connett reports.
Howard Mudd, the former offensive line coach for the Indianapolis Colts, was with Indy from 1998 to 2009, working with Peyton Manning and helping the Colts win a Super Bowl. He then came back to the Colts for a short stint last year to help as a senior offensive assistant coach.
Execute your technique the way we ask you to do it, and then we feel pretty good.
Mudd was injured in a motorcycle crash near his home in Seattle on July 29th and died from his injuries on Wednesday. He was 78 years old. Rob Connett, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
WIBC's flash briefings are updated throughout the day, so you can always check for the latest local news. You can also rejoin us in the car at 93.1 FM to stay on top of the latest traffic alerts, weather, and news. I'm Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on Twitter at 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.